What up? Oh shit. We didn't do sound check, huh? Sound check, sound check, check 1, 2, 3, ABC. All right, let's see. Aquí, I want this. And here, can you hear me? I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Okay, I just can't hear you. Hmm. Uh oh. Ba-ba, ba-ba. We need to. I need to figure out how to play this on. Well, I can't hear you, so it doesn't even matter what I say right now. Yeah, and I just watched our. I picked up our live, and they can't hear you either. So man, we got 2 viewers. What's up? We're having a little technical difficulties, but yeah,
Oh,
y'all chose a
can you hear
good
me
one to
now?
join in. Oh, there we go. I
Oh,
heard it
okay,
go
okay.
through. It just went in.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's like when you just kind of when you just oh
The little,
shit,
little
like right
twitch.
there. Yeah, like it's right when you put it in. That's what it sounded like.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on? Cut it close today. Like as I was
Yeah.
sitting down, I was like, the little countdown already started.
Well, like I wanted to start it at 8. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
And
yeah.
see, because I was like, I seen that he's been promoting it, and then I promoted it a little bit here. Like I was, like there's gonna be that one person that gets on at 8. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe not, but just maybe.
Now you're right. You're right.
So, I was like, worst case scenario, I just put it on there, and then like they won't see us because we can disappear for a little bit,
Yeah.
and then they'll just have to fucking wait. You know what I'm saying? But it's on. So that's what I was gonna say. Like I want to figure out a way to stream this using OBS because then I can put like a little video at the beginning, you know, or like an
You
intro
could.
video.
Well, you can still share the screen and you do it like that, right?
Yeah,
You could.
yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right. I could.
Yeah.
So but whatever. We're live. We're here. I don't know what we want to start with, but I'm eating an apple, and I can tell you why I'm eating an apple.
Okay. Shoot.
But I don't actually. You know what? I don't even know why I'm eating an apple.
Wait, hold up. Before you say that, I have to say something.
All right.
A lot of people don't like apples. I like apples.
What, bro? This is. I'm eating this apple and I'm bussing.
Yeah.
They're so
But
good.
I do get that a lot. Like people just don't like them in general. I think
So hold
so.
on.
To those people, I say screw
Fuck
you.
them. Yeah. Fuck them.
Yeah,
All right. So I just proved my theory that I had. Okay. So on my birthday, actually at the day before, yeah, I went to get my physical, my yearly physical, and got checkup and everything. And
yeah,
as usual, this has been a thing since I was a kid. It goes up and down. My LDL is a little high this time around, which I knew it would be because it makes sense with the way that we've been cooking and continued cooking here at home. Um,
So is it like up and down?
yeah, for the most part. So, and like I said, I knew it was going to be a thing because right a couple years ago we did like the keto for a while, and then we did a low carb lifestyle, right? And so that what that introduced was a high fat diet, right?
Yeah,
Like that's what we were cooking, and
yeah.
we kind of kept with that because it's so fucking good. You put cheese on anything. You motherfucking put like dairy products on everything, like half and shit. You make some like Alfredo types, like it's so good. So we just kept it up. But I have also not continued working out like I used to. So my LDL is a little high, and I've got a fucking I've got a itch to fucking pick with the medical system, bro. Like the first thing my doctor says to me is like, I'd like to put you on this medication to lower your LDL. And
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, bitch, you fucking didn't even ask me like what I've been eating, how I've been eating, what I'm doing. Like you asked me like the general stuff that they ask you in the physical, but they didn't ask me anything else. I'm like, bitch, why don't you tell me like, hey,
It's
go
like,
work out, you fucking
yeah,
fat ass.
it's like
Hey,
everything else. They don't do the due diligence. They won't, because you're right. It should be like, okay, what are you eating? Can you eat better? What are you exercising? Are you able to exercise? Yes. Then why aren't we doing it? Like that should
yeah.
be the go-to. I think.
And so I was like, you know what? Like, all right, I let her do whatever she did. She's like, I sent it to your fucking local pharmacy. All right, I ain't picking it up. So you just made them work for nothing. But I'm like, why don't you? So I looked it up, right? I'm like, okay, what can I do to like lower his shit? And I know working out obviously is a whole big thing, and so I need to do that. But so now I'm drinking my green juice. I'm eating like fucking things that lower your cholesterol and shit like that.
Yeah.
So I might be losing weight here in a bit, you know?
Uh oh.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, oh man, I just wanted a two piece here. You
Oh,
know what
wait
I'm
a minute.
saying?
Wait a minute. Listen to that baby weight. Nice.
Oh yeah, lose the baby weight.
Yeah.
But dude, man, it just grinds my gears that the first thing they tell you all the time is like, here's some fucking drug. You know what I mean? Like here.
Yeah. I mean, it's a business, and they sell
Yeah.
drugs.
Yeah. Damn. It wasn't when I was around, But alrighty.
They're just smarter. They do it legally.
Yeah, I feel you. So okay, so we got some updates, right? We got some
Yeah. Yeah.
updates. And then, so the idea today is we're going to talk a little bit about the updates that we discussed yesterday. So me and Cesar discussed some ideas yesterday, and we were just kind of like, where is this shit going? What are we doing with it? Like, what's going on? Because it's been a roller coaster ride, right? So we've
Yeah.
got some updates. Then we've got some, I guess, tips and tricks. Not tips and tricks, just some tips on like what you should do as a grown up, I think, right? Like speaking like life insurance and
Yes.
trusts and
Financial
some
literacy.
financial ideas,
Yep.
um, and then myths, right? Whatever that comes with. So the idea is updates, tips, and myths. That's what I titled this shit.
And
So that's kind of what we
that
have
works. That
here
works.
in a bit. So I see we got some people on here already, so I appreciate y'all showing up. What's up, Christian? Hey, Bridget. Yeah, I was in the office today. I showed up for a little bit. We had our quarterly meeting, and I had told my buddy that I would show up there to help him out. Um, so I got to be a good example for my children, right? Whenever you say something, you gotta do it. So, all right. So you wanna take it away, or you want me to keep using my saliva?
What do you want to kind of go over? So
Mm,
mainly,
what? We can hear you. Oh, not anymore. Quit messing with it. See, like right now, I could have put like some music. Oh, that's what. Okay, That's why I wanted to say. I wanted to do it on OBS because on OBS I can create a channel, and I'd have to explain this differently. But on OBS I can create a channel where the music plays. We hear it on the live, but it doesn't save on our VOD, and so then therefore when we post the video, we don't get copyrighted.
yo,
Yeah, that sounds horrible, but we can hear you.
damn it.
Uh-oh. What you nervous about, Becca? What you nervous about? Because now you're making me nervous.
Yo, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I mean, yeah, we can hear you, but it sounds like you're in the restroom, Like whenever you go to the restroom and you got
Mm,
the phone.
yeah, because it's using the wrong microphone.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
But you just had it, but you probably did like this.
Like I just, yeah, like I did like a half turn and then it moved.
Do like a pull it out, like, and then put it back in, maybe? I don't know. Put some saliva on that bitch.
Please
Spit
spit
on that
on it.
thing.
Yeah,
You know where I
that
got
might
that
work.
from? What you nervous about, Becca? What you nervous about?
She said, "Just spill the tea."
I don't have tea, but I got Propel. I'm gonna spill
Whoa,
the Propel.
whoa, whoa, whoa. Fuck me.
Hey, it was working like 2 seconds ago.
Yeah,
What did you do
damn
different?
kids.
Yeah, my kids don't fuck with my shit yet,
Not yet.
but I'm gonna drop them. I'm gonna drop kick them if they do. What up, Laudo? How you doing, my buddy, my guy? Hey, I got on Call of Duty the other day, and you were playing solos, and you fucking ignored me.
Oh, think we're back. Are we back?
We still sound the same.
Sound the same? Okay, hold on.
Say what is on your mind already. Well, we're trying to fix Cesar's microphone so y'all hear clearly, clear and crisp. You know.
There you go.
Oh, oh, oh!
Yeah,
Don't touch it, bro. Don't touch it.
back.
Don't even look at it.
We're back. Okay.
Don't even look at it. All right. Okay. So wait. Do you want to say it? I want to say it. Who wants to say it?
Say it because I don't know what you're trying to say.
Oh, well,
I
me
mean,
just
I
want
know,
to talk
but I don't
about.
know.
So
Okay.
I texted it to you, right? Just so that I'm sure. Um,
Well, kind of piggybacking on what you were saying, we're trying to figure it out how to move forward, right? And we're trying to do different things. And of course, as always, suggestions are welcomed. But we kind of figured out, what else we can do. So what we like to do, and we tried in the past, and we want to make it happen, is bring somebody in, right? I think that would be if we can successfully do that, that would be a good first step. Because we know so many people that got so many great stories, and I think if we can just if they can dedicate that hour to us, right? We're only asking for 1 hour, maybe less, 1 day a week. And I was just thinking it could be anytime, right?
I prefer it to be since we want to do it Wednesday.
Yeah,
Stick to this time.
yeah, absolutely. I mean,
But
hopefully
if we
by this
absolutely
time,
have
most
to
people
like do another
we
time,
can make it
sure.
happen. We can make it happen.
Yeah. So okay. So updates first, right? We brainstorming with Cesar and like what can we do because like you said, we kind of hit a I don't want to say a hard wall, but we hit some sort of wall, right? And I think
Like a
every
More like a
project
ditch, like a
does
ditch.
that. Yeah, I think every project has that, and so now we're trying to get out of that ditch or that get around that wall. So, like he mentioned, we want to do where we bring people in and just kind of do like interview sesh or not. I hate the word interview, right? Because the interview, when I think interview,
No,
is
we
like
can just hang out with somebody
just
else.
hang out with somebody, have them on here, just discuss bullshit, shoot the shit. Cool. All right. So we want to keep that on a Wednesday. We want to do that on Wednesday, 8 p.m. That's what we want to keep. We also discussed we need to put more content out there. We need to do more. We need to be more visible. So we talked about adding a day of 2MadKings, but this day would be something like it would be a shorter. It'll be a shorter show, and it'll be something where we do something like a cold call, right? So it'll be like we pull up with Cesar, we're just chatting, and we probably do something where we spin the wheel or some shit like that, and it tells us to call like the 37th number on our phone. You know what I mean? And we'll have a set of questions that we'll ask or some sort of discussion points to talk about. And so we'll just do that, right? And then that'll be probably like a 20-minute, 15, 10-minute session. And then we'll continue it for, I don't know, depending how long that cold call is, but we want that session to be about 30 to 45 minutes, just to get more exposure, to get put out there a little bit more. So that's two things, right? So we want to start bringing in people to the show on Wednesdays, and then we want to do an extra show a week where we do like cold call, and eventually maybe we do something else, right?
Yep.
Okay. What else did we discuss?
We're also talking about introducing some type of premium. What would you call it? Club.
Yeah. So we talked about. So we have. So okay. So we've had we've been a thing for about 2 years now. First year was kind of like, yeah, we didn't really do much. Second year we started doing a little bit more, and so we've tried to push a bunch of content so that we can get monetized on YouTube. Um, the problem there is that they make it so difficult for they don't make it so difficult, but they make it difficult. They make it difficult for like what I'd say is a small project, right? Like because it's the requirements are like,
A startup type of thing. It's
yeah,
like
like, but the requirements are like you need 3 million views of certain thing. You need 300 hours of this. You need like just crazy things where it's possible, right? Because people have done it. But when you go and click on those profiles, they have a million followers, subscribers. They have 500,000 subscribers, shit like that. You know what I mean? And so we're not there yet. So obviously, what this means is that we're going to be pushed back on the monetization drastically, because by the time we get there, I don't know, it could be tomorrow, it could be in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, right? It could never happen. It's just a thing of it's a game of numbers. So since I went ahead and opened a Patreon. For those of you that don't know, Patreon is a supporting service. Really, it's a way to
it's
support
it's a
anything.
subscription based.
It's a subscription based supporting service. That's what I like to think about it. And in that Patreon, there's tiers. There's tiers to this. How you can support whoever, whatever. In this case, how you can support us. So we'll have all that in our we have all that in our website. Um, and actually, I'm sorry, we don't necessarily have it on the website yet because I wanted to kind of finalize with you, Cesar, like what we were gonna do. I know we talked about it yesterday, but so we have ideas. So we have the tiers 1, 2, and 3 right now. Tier 1 would be $5 a month. You would, and then you would get a hat. We would send you a hat. Maybe not necessarily this one. We're thinking about not necessarily redesigning, but probably getting something better. I don't know. I mean, this, you know what I'm saying? But maybe something a little different. But we're gonna send a hat. Okay. Tier 2, you'd get a hat and a shirt, right? And so that's that's $10 subscription. And then tier 3, you'd get a hat and a tier 3 shirt. So this would be a specialized shirt for only tier 3 members, right? Nobody else would have that. Now, here's another kicker. For tier 2 and 3, we will have quarterly giveaways, right? So that way it it just makes sense to be part of that club. Those are like the things that we have right now. We can always update that. We can always update what each tier gets or doesn't get. Like, you know what I mean? Like, does that make sense? Yeah, right. Am I
Yes.
saying that right? Okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah.
So we can always update and change
Makes
and
sense to me. That's all that matters.
so okay, good. So we have that. It's in the works. We're gonna put it out there. Um, yeah. So updates. Okay, we're gonna add another short show. We're gonna start including people. Right, we're gonna have guest stars, let's call them, and then we have the Patreon that we're starting. Um, okay, we had something else. Okay, I think that was it.
Yeah,
I feel like that was it.
that's about right.
Yes, Rebecca, it's been 2 years. Don't say that because it makes me feel bad because I feel like I was telling Cesar, like I feel like we're nowhere near where we wanted to be, and it
Now, to be fair, when you say 2 years, it's been 2 years since we started the idea originally. Not 2 years
well,
since, right? Like 2 years since we like talked about
the
it and
idea started like
tried
3 years
it.
ago, right?
Has it been
And
that
then
long?
yeah, because October when you came over and you said, "All right, let's do it," that's when we started pushing it, and then right because before we pushed it, we were recording, remember?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then you were like, "All right, what are we doing? Let's do it." And so we started the company, and then that's when we started doing the lives and shit. So it's been 2 years, but I don't know, just roller coaster ride. So you were sharing your screen. Did you want me to share that?
No, I was just gonna even say. Do people even realize that we do have a working website where they can go in there and submit a comment, a complaint, a suggestion?
Okay,
I was
so
kind of sharing that, but
I'll share it. I'll share it actually, because yeah, I don't know that many people actually go to it or that know about it. So we've and this is another thing that we've discussed so much. We're always telling people like, hey, go to our website. Hey, go to our website. And I don't feel like people do or have. Um, I don't know why. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna share this here. Boom. All right. So this is our website, peeps. Um, we have it, and it's 2madkings.com. Boom. Done.
it doesn't get any easier than
It
that.
doesn't get no easier than
Honestly,
that.
we just lucky. We just got lucky.
We did, man. We did. So we have all our social media in the top left, like I've said multiple times. I'm gonna add the Patreon on here. And then we got a little bit about ourselves, online podcast, 2madkings gmail.com if you want to reach us. That's one way to reach us. Or the other way to reach us is scroll all the way to the bottom, like I just did, and then fill this in out right here. Fill this out right here. No big deal. All right,
How
cool.
hard is it? Is that pretty hard? Just
I
go to
think
the bottom and then what? Like type it in and then submit, and that's it.
I don't know. We
Okay.
got when we go live, we're gonna add that so the additional show, the one we're talking about, it's gonna be on a flex schedule. So I might put that on there saying something like flex schedule, um, just because we're still trying to work that in, right? So we'll do that. That will help us create the Spotify account that we want. So we're gonna go through all of our shows that we have now, but with that being shorter shows, we might make that the Spotify information. So like I said, Spotify coming soon. But these work, right? So if you can click YouTube and it'll take you to our channel. So okay. This is us. We probably need to update this a little bit. I've had somebody tell me like, hey, use better pictures. All right, cool. These are social medias right here. Okay. And then I need to update this, but we'll have the latest show on here. So if you missed it, you can go to our website and see it if you don't want to go to our YouTube. And then there you go. It's simple. I mean, it's right there. 2madkings.com. Please show up. Um, I want to keep this up here for a little bit because this is where you,
Hey, wait a
as a
minute. Have you checked
audience,
to see if anybody left anything
yeah,
recently?
not recently. I can check.
Because I
Did
told
you
some
leave
people
something?
just do it. Just go up there and try it and see what happens.
Here we go. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Well, not check it out, but so okay. But I wanted to talk about this. So it's very simple. You don't even have to put your name anymore. We made it to where it could be anonymous. You
Yep.
don't even have to put your name in, but you would just, if you wanted to, you will put your name in. Email. I think we need your email just because that's how like it sends us an email because this is gonna send us an email. And then your message. Simple, 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 simple. Actually, yeah, we haven't gotten anything unfortunately.
Okay.
Yep, 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 yep.
The fuck these people that told me they were gonna fill one out.
I'm telling you, bro. You know what's and I know there's people on here that probably have a startup or a business and whatever, and bro, it be your own people, man. Like, no, damn, dude, you just be surprised. I told this to somebody the other day. If we spent the amount of time that we spend supporting others that we don't even know, supporting each other, but we'd all be balling.
Who will
We'd
make it?
all be
Yeah.
fucking rich. You know what I mean? Or the amount of time that we try to spend like fucking each other. We're like, bro,
Oh.
we'd be rich. You know what I mean? Like crazy. But okay. I guess story for another day. You know what I mean? But
So why don't we just change it instead of saying "come support us"? We can just say "come fuck us."
yeah, hey, make our life fucking miserable. Fill in some data here. You know what I mean? Give us some shit. Make our life would be so hard if you did this for us. But okay, so that's what it is. It's 2madkings.com. Please head over there. 2madkings.com. Cool. All right. Where am I at? Oh, shit.
That's right.
Oh, I got to stop sharing my screen. I was like, where'd I go? I'm in the bottom right here. All right. So
Got a pretty good comment here. I'm sorry, I know we were trying to keep it going, but
yeah,
he
you go
said
for it.
focus on the content, which is basically what we're trying to do, right?
Sure.
Focusing on better, different, not better, but different content, right? Um, he says sell merch. Yeah, we're absolutely gonna start doing
Oh, that was
some
part
of
of the
that.
update. Yeah.
Yep. Uh, and then subscriptions should come once you have a base following. Yeah, we went ahead and set it up just to kind of don't put a delay on that, to just start it from now. But absolutely merge subscriptions, and then focusing on the content. I agree.
Yeah. So that was another thing we wanted to do. We wanted to open up some merch. We were discussing this with Cesar, and so we want to use like kind of what I was going back to is supporting each other. So we wanted to use um, local businesses that we know of to create some merch. Um, wink, wink. And so we
Yeah.
will be having some of that soon, or I don't want to say soon, but we will be having some of that.
Fuck it.
Um,
Let's say soon.
all right, fuck it, soon. You know what? Yeah. So wink, wink. I might start just like wearing some 2MadKings shit. You know what I mean?
You already are. I see
Well, I
it.
mean the hat, but I'm talking about like I'm gonna like
Oh, like
you
a
know,
shirt, like a necklace.
oh a fucking diamond necklace.
Damn. Yeah.
Just a big old just
Just some real bling bling.
hell
I can
yeah.
see it.
No, fuck that. That'd be the dumbest shit, bro. That I can't stand people that have that. I mean, I look like I don't care that they have it. They more power to them because they can. But dude, that's got to be the
That
dumbest.
definitely not your thing.
Yeah, that's the biggest liability, bro. Biggest
Yeah.
liability. But um,
But like you said, if they could do it, more power to them.
yeah, watch us in 3 years. We're gonna be all blinged out and shit. Fuck it. Let's see. Okay. All right. So that's kind of the update, right? I think for the
Yeah.
most part. So for the update, we say we're going to add a new show where it's going to be kind of like a cold call series. Um, we're going to keep our weekly Wednesday shows, but we're also going to try to bring people on occasionally. Merch is going to definitely be a thing. We have this Patreon service to support us to also maybe push this along some more, right? To get that merch pushing out. There's different tiers. So there's tier one, two, and three. Tier one gets you a hat. Tier two gets you a shirt and a hat. Tier three will get you a hat, a tier three shirt,
And
specifically
some
only tier three
personalized
shirt.
stuff.
Yeah, and then tier two and three will have giveaways on a quarterly basis. What else did we say? I
I think
think
that
that's
was
it,
it.
bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hit up Paul Wall for some ice. That motherfucker would charge us up. I'm trying to get that fake shit.
Right.
I used to follow a guy way back in the day. But he would be like, "Man, this is all fake." You know what I mean? I just like how it looks. Like I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Because people would tell him like it's fake, it's fake. It's like, yeah, it's fake. I just like how it looks. You know what I mean? Like the fuck. So I don't think the guy does content anymore because I haven't seen this shit in ages. But alrighty, so that's it for updates. What else we got? I mean, I know what else we got, but I don't know if you want to say something. I feel like I've been spitting up a world of words lately.
No, I think you got most of it. As far as the updates, we can jump into what our topic was today.
Okay.
Something that we kind of talk about here and there, little pieces, bits and pieces of it. Uh, but you brought it up again, and I like it. I like financial stuff. I like. Well, let me say this. We're definitely getting old because few years ago, right, I would have never given a fuck about any of this stuff, right? Like, who cares? It's kind
I'll
of like
challenge that.
wait. It's kind of like now enjoy going to Home Depot and Costco, and back in the day, it's like, nah, that's not the spot. Now I get excited. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it's kind of like that feeling. It's
But I
the
almost
need.
challenge that.
Well, no, no. For me, it was the need. Now it's the need to get educated. Whereas to before, I wouldn't really think about it. Right. Then before it was like, hopefully, I at some point I make more money. Right. Hopefully, at some point I'll be better off. But the ignorance was still there.
Yeah,
It's still there.
but what I'm saying is like I almost challenge the fact that you're saying that this is happening because we're getting old.
Yeah. Well,
I almost
okay.
challenge that because
More
had I
mature.
known about this, exactly, I think that's better, like more
Yeah.
mentally mature. Because had I known about this, um,
Would have started in your early 20s.
I would have started earlier when I was doing dumb shit
Absolutely.
and making money. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like when I
That's
was
what I mean. You're
like
matured enough. When I say getting old,
mentally
it's
mature, mentally mature.
more, yeah, mentally mature to understand that this is something that it's you should know at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah, for sure. Because had I known this like in my late teens, early 20s,
Hey,
bro, I would have
Christian.
been rich already. I'd have been rich.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
So, yeah. You
But
want me
never
to?
never too late to start.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's kind of like that saying, right? Like when they ask you when is the best time to plant a tree, and the answer is 20 years ago, but the next best time is today. So, and I know I've said that before, and
Yeah.
so
What is that, like the Lorax or something?
no, that's like
You
a
ever seen that, the Lorax?
yeah. You know,
That,
it's
that's
funny because
that
it's
was a good movie. That was a good. If I had to pick, like these new kids movies they do nowadays, suck. The
oh
Lorax,
yeah.
the Lorax, one of the few movies that I've seen over and over again because of my daughters, of course. But it's enjoyable. It
Is
has
that the one
has
where they
meaning
cut
to it.
down the trees?
Yeah, cut down the trees, and there's a little
Is
like
that the one
weird
where he's
ass
like,
little
"Let
thing.
it burn, let it burn"?
Yeah,
Okay, okay,
that one.
okay.
Yeah,
See, I don't really give a fuck about that. Fuck it, bro. Like,
let it burn.
let it
Let
burn.
the
You know what I'm
motherfucker
saying?
burn.
Um, yeah, no, but like, I wish
She said Moses always been a fan of Costco. Absolutely.
Costco and Sam's, but that's because my mom was a fan. You know what
Yes.
I mean? But you know what? It was better, babe. It was. I don't want
Whoa,
to say it
whoa,
was
whoa,
better.
whoa, whoa. Lorax is a banned book? What?
I could see it. I could see it. This. I'm gonna get political here. Oh my god, I can feel it. I
Ah.
can feel it coming in. But
It's like,
this left-sided fucking cancel culture economy society whatever you want to call it is I can see how that one is one of those cancel culture books because it talks about like global warming and like shit like that, right? Like that's a thing.
well, that's not global warming. She
Well,
talks about
it's cutting down all the
big
trees, which
corporations and that kind of crap.
sure
Like getting greedy and nature.
makes sense, bro. Fucking
Yeah, for
California.
sure.
Look, there's some people that we know are from California and care about them dearly, but if California could just blow up, like
If
if
it just
California could just catch fire, I mean it already tried.
or just drift away, right? Like just one
No, I
final.
want it gone, bro. I
Well,
don't
that's what I
want it.
mean.
No, because if it drifts away, it's
Wait,
still
wait.
there.
You don't let me finish. Drift away and then sink to the bottom of the ocean. It'd be fine.
No, because it's still there. I need it to burn. I need
It's
it
not.
to.
If it
I,
sinks to the
no,
bottom
no,
of the
hell
ocean,
no,
it
no.
wouldn't be
Because
there.
look, check this
If it
out.
burns, it's gonna just create a problem for all of us.
I don't care about that. I want it to be gone. So look, if you put a fucking piece of paper in water,
Yeah.
it'll just be still a piece of paper in water. But if you burn that bitch, it's ashes. It's gone. You can't do anything with it anymore.
Mm, I don't know. I think my
What?
way. I think my way is gonna be more efficient.
Oh yeah, I'm not talking about efficiency. I want them to suffer. I want them gone. I want like California is I don't know how to say it in English, but it's la escoria de la vida. You know
Damn,
what
I
I
don't
mean?
even know what that means. What is it, like a
What?
thorn on your side?
Fuck, it's like 20,000 thorns, you know? California has the dumbest regulations, laws, ideas. I don't even know how that's possible, dude. How can your
That's a
leaders
better
be that
question.
dumb?
That's a better question. How did we get there? How did we get there? That's insane.
You know what's crazy too is like California, nature wise, beautiful. Man,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
beautiful. What ruins it is all these cities and people running the state. I want to go
Wouldn't
back
trade
to
Texas
California. Oh
for
fuck
sure.
no, fuck no, fuck no. Texas is the place to be, bro. Texas is the place to be.
Exactly. So he Supreme Solution says San Andres. That's exactly what I mean. Like that's more likely. You know what I mean?
It's not likely. It's already been proven that it could never happen.
Well, never say never.
I mean,
There's
okay,
hope.
act of God. Shut show. Oh man. But alrighty. I guess back
so,
to what we
but
were talking about before
so,
California destroyed my life.
Boludo said financial question mark question mark.
What does that mean?
He's asking if it's financial. I don't know. I mean, yeah, that's what we were talking about. I guess he's just so desperately wanting to hear it.
Oh, okay. So we were discussing about the other day, or actually yesterday, we were thinking, okay, what are some good topics to bring up? And lately, we've been here at home and in my family looking into trusts, right? So we always hear about like trust babies and shit like that. And so I'm like, okay,
You
how
hear
can
it. It's one of those things like you hear it all the time. You hear it on TV. You hear it being said, but people
but
don't
do you really
understand
know what
it.
that
They know it.
means?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And so what I remember from like you said shows and shit like that is these motherfuckers are always rich, you know?
Yeah.
So it sparked my interest. But then recently, with social media and all that good stuff, you get, social. This is when social media is a double edged sword, right? Because you get some information, but then you get some shitty information too. But at least it's
And you get so much information.
but what I'm getting to is at least it's information, right? So it's what I'm
Yeah.
getting to is I've heard a lot of trust talk in social media, but a lot of the times it's not like the right way or it's not like the right thing, at least for me. It's normally like rich people trying to fuck you, right, to
Or
get
somebody
a
who's
trust,
already
giving you this.
rich and how they do it.
Well, that one's fine because at least you know that they're rich in the way they did it, but the ones that I'm
No, no,
talking
no,
about is
no.
like,
Know how they get rich, but how they continue to be rich. But if you're not there
I don't
yet,
think we're talking about the same thing because I'm talking about like if it's a rich person that's talking about trust and how they did their shit and how they do their shit and how they
no, no,
continue
that's
to
not
do
what I
their
mean.
shit.
That's not what I mean.
What?
I'm saying it's not relatable if it's a
Oh, but I don't
millionaire, a
mind
billionaire
that. I don't
who
mind if
or
it's relatable to me if it's a millionaire billionaire that did it because at least I know what they did and how they did it. What I'm talking about is those people that are like, oh, if you want to do it like we did or like how I did it, how I came from the bottom up, and they're really just trying to fuck you. Like they're not really trying to help
yeah,
you.
the ones that are trying to sell you their books and their stuff.
There you go. Those
Yeah,
people.
yeah, yeah.
That's where I'm like, oh, that's the bad part. But if it's like some rich dude that was rich that's talking about how they continue to be rich and blah blah. Hey,
No, that's the information we want.
sure, but then again, that's probably not going to be relatable because I can't go and just put a million, 3 million, 5 million, 100 million into a trust, right? Shit like that.
Not yet.
Not yet, correct. But if it's just, but it tells me about what it is and how it can happen. So I've seen a bunch of those, and I'm like, shit, okay, cool. Then again, like you said, shows have talked about trust funds and trust babies and this and that, and it's always rich people, and I'm like, well, shit, like that's what I want. You know what I mean? How do I get some of that? So lately, we've been moving forward with all this trust talk and things of that sort. And we have somebody in the family that's starting a trust also or has created a trust, and so they know a little bit more, and so we're kind of like piggybacking off their stuff. But the biggest or the not the biggest ones, but there's many trusts. There's I have a list here. It's revocable, irrevocable, special needs, charitable, testamentary, spendthrift, asset, irrevocable, life insurance trust, generational
Live in
skipping trust.
trust.
Like there's
Yeah,
just so many shit, right?
yeah.
The ones that like, I guess the simpler ones are the ones that make more sense in a way for like regular people, the middle class, let's call them, is that revocable and irrevocable trusts. And so a revocable trust is a trust that can be managed or amended after they're created and can help evade probate processes. Right. So that's a big, 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 big thing that a lot of people unfortunately don't know about. And then hold
Well,
on.
hold on, hold on, hold
And
on.
then irrevocable trusts are trusts that cannot be changed or amended after they're created. So They're
Well, they
very
can't be
similar.
modified.
One can be updated, the other one can't.
Right. Well, can you tell us though what a trust is to begin with?
Yeah.
Because
So
that's the main idea of talking about this is why even doing this? Why even looking at this or even thinking about this?
okay, so I'll tell you what Google says, and then I'll tell
Yes.
you my understanding.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So a trust is a legal contract that establishes a relationship between a grantor, a trustee, a beneficiary, and a beneficiary to manage assets according to grantor's wishes. So what does that all mean? Right? Because that's a lot of words. Really, what a trust is just a thing. Right? Think about it like it's just a thing. It's a
It's
giant
it's
hole.
it's an entity.
It's an entity
Yeah.
that can hold or own things, right? And because an
Well, that
entity
can
can never
hold
die,
wait, that can hold and own things for another party, for somebody else.
sure. Yeah. Okay. So okay. I guess again, a trust is just an entity, a thing that can hold and own things to benefit anybody
Yeah.
that is stated in that thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So to first you have to create it though, right? So that's like the grantor. So that's the person that starts this thing, starts this trust, right? This person decides what can happen with the trust, what the trust can do, what it can't do, what the things inside of the trust are gonna like, what's gonna happen with all those things. That's kind of like the gist of it, right? Then there's the trustee, right? And then this is the person that can manage what's in that trust. So or in that thing. I'm gonna keep calling it thing trust. I'm just gonna go back and forth. And so what I mean by that is if there's money in there, the trustee can use it, can do with it what needs to be done as far as it meets the requirements of what the grantor stated in the creation of this trust, right? So
Yeah.
if the grantor said, you know, the trustee can only use $50,000 a month from this trust, and there's $1 million, the trustee can only go in there and take out $50,000 a month. He can't take $50,000 at one penny. He cannot. It won't allow it. The law won't allow it. So that the trustee are people that can go in there and use, and I don't want to say abuse because technically the law or
Utilize.
yeah, utilize um to that. And then there's the beneficiary. This is the big part. This is why you want to be created trust if you are a responsible and loving parent. The beneficiary is the people that will benefit from what's in this thing, in this trust. So say this trust holds things like real estate, money, jewelry, things like that. The once the grantor or even the trustee passes, the beneficiary becomes a trustee, right? And then they can benefit from what's in the trust, right? And so, why is this important? The biggest one that it's important, or like the biggest reason why it's important for the most part, is when it comes down to real estate. Unfortunately, because of laws, if a parent owns a house and that said parent passes, it doesn't just go down to the children. It doesn't just like
Yeah.
pass down to the children. No, there is a whole process, the probate process, which is stupid. It's stupid because it should just go down to your kid, right? Like why should the government have anything to do with your property if you already own this thing, technically own, right? Because you never really own it because you got to continue paying property taxes and school taxes and blah 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 blah. But okay, whatever.
So I was just gonna add to what you were saying. So also why consider a trust, right? There is some potential tax benefits and a certain level of protection.
Yeah. I was gonna get to that.
That's I think that's the main thing, right? Because what you're doing is you're ensuring that the assets are going to to the proper parties per se, right? So
Correct.
a lot of the times these other parties could be kids or I don't know somebody other vulnerable parties that need some guidance, and that's really the main thing I think.
That's one thing. um, so what says that is talking about is safety. So there's also the safety aspect of things. But I wanted to talk about the probate first. So
Okay,
finish
go
kind of
ahead.
that part and then go into the safety type of things. So probate, right? So probate is a legal process of distributing a deceased person's assets to their beneficiaries. So this is what a will is normally. This is kind of what a will is, right? It's a written word that somebody left, and then right, but this written word has to be validated or yeah, I guess validated by somebody from the government. It has to be like you have to go up to a judge, and the judge goes through this process, and all that shit costs money. And say in this will, your parent left you the house. Now you have to pay taxes on that house to be able to get the house. That's stupid, right? Like it doesn't make any sense. Um, so what a trust does is person creates trust, puts house into trust, person passes away, trust owns the home, the beneficiary becomes trustee. Trustee can use whatever in the house or in the trust. The house is in the trust, so you can use the house. So it's basically just it does what you're supposed to do. It passes down, right? And so what you really normally do is like this grantor, like the creator of the trust says, okay, this house is in the trust for fucking ever. You know what I mean? 500,000 years, whatever. Can't be sold. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it can't be sold because technically the trust owns the property.
Yes.
But you have trustees and beneficiaries that can
Well,
benefit
the
from the trust.
trustee manages the properties, right? Like the assets.
The assets or whatever's in
They
there.
make
Like
sure that whatever it's supposed to happen happens.
correct. But it just passes down to that. Like the responsibility just passes down to that person, to that
Yeah.
next trustee, or to that next beneficiary. Um, which is how it should be. Because then you don't have
Yes.
to pay taxes. The government isn't in your business. You're not giving anybody anything, whatever. It's that's how it is. And then if this is an irrevocable trust and it says like so okay, I didn't even talk about that. Sorry. Irrevocable versus revocable. I think I did mention that, but
Well, you did. Yeah, you said one you can edit or you can change the arrangement. The other one you cannot.
correct, correct. It depends what you want to do, right? Irrevocable, it's set in stone, done. So if say you have an irrevocable trust, you can say this house can never be sold and it's owned by the trust forever. You know, it can't be sold. Now in a revocable trust, the trustee can come in and then manage things if they need to. But then at that point you're dead, so who cares, right? Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um but that's really what the trust is for when you have assets. It's so that it passes on to your next of kin or whoever you want it to leave it to. It could be your fucking neighbor. It could be your fucking dog. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy how crazy you can get with some of these things. Um, but that's really what a trust is, and I think everybody should have one. It's not that expensive. It's like $2,500 to open a trust. You
That's
know,
not bad.
yeah. Now there was another thing that Cesar mentioned is the safety aspect of it. Um, that's a big one. Um, this is gonna sound a little fucked up, but for people that don't have much to lose, fuck it. It don't even matter. You know what I mean? Don't listen to me. But if you feel like you have something to lose, a trust will help. Why? What I mean is, or what I mean by this is, say you're driving down the street, you cut somebody off, you're not even paying attention, you just cut them off, whatever, my bad. But they follow you home, they get your information, whatever, and they sue you. If you have something, they can come towards that something. Not saying that they're gonna win, but say you own a house,
But they could.
a car, a
It's a
fucking
liability.
business, whatever, they can try to fuck you and take it from you and argue it, and then by the time and here's another thing, like you're going to be defending yourself, so you're going to be spending money too, right? So it's just a whole ordeal. However, if there's a trust, when they go to sue you, and they say, okay, we want to take everything that X person owns. Actually, X person doesn't own shit. Well, what do you mean? I saw his house, I saw his car, I saw her everything. Yeah, but that's technically not his. You know what I mean? His or hers. So they can't come after you. I mean, they can't do shit to you, really. So that's like the safety aspect of things for people that have a bunch of assets, businesses, just things like that. It makes sense because then you can get sued, but they can't take shit from you. You know what I mean?
Oh, we actually get a question about the trust. Christian asked, "Do you pay taxes from a trust or no?" And the answer, I think, it can help you reduce some taxes depending on what kind of trust you own or what kind of trust you create.
So
So what I'm
I
seeing here is an irrevocable trust can help you reduce state taxes. So it'll help you save on some of those taxes, as opposed to if there is a will and you do it the traditional way, you end up paying taxes again, right? Am I wrong?
So okay, so my understanding is you will continue paying your regular taxes on, let's say, a property. You'll continue paying if you have state taxes, you'll pay state taxes. If you have property taxes, you'll pay property taxes. If you have like those taxes, you'll continue paying them, right? Where it comes in for the tax benefit on like self on the self is whenever you make money out of the trust. So say you put your salary, it goes straight to the trust. That's where those tax breaks come in. So normally that happens when you have a business and a trust combination, right? It doesn't. I haven't really heard it of a coming out of like a W-2 thing where you send your W-2 there, and because technically when you get taxed, it's based on your salary. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
say you put all your salary into that W-2, it's still going to be within those tax brackets. So it's still going to have to pay those taxes. Now, if you had a business, right, where you make money in the business and you pay the the trust some money, so you split the basically the money coming in, so your tax bracket is different. So like let's say you had a business that made $500,000. I think this is how it works. Please, if somebody's in the chat or somebody sees this later, correct me if I'm wrong. But if your business makes like $500,000 and you want to say half of it is going to my trust, like that's that. Your bracket then goes from that $500,000 to two separate $250,000 brackets. So I guess the tax benefit
Come
is
down
there.
from, yeah.
Yeah. Um, I think with an LLC, for example, there's like a 40% tax break. And if you put it in a trust and the trust has like S Corps, there's additional 40% tax break. So you can get like 40% or 40%, et cetera, et cetera. But you have to be paying yourself through that. That process, I don't fully know yet. I've seen it. And this is what I was talking about earlier, where I hate how like some of these people are like, oh look, we can set you up like this, and that. Just join our membership for $100 or $200 a month, and da da da. I don't know that far yet. Now, what I will say is I'll do my homework and I'll come back at some point in time and I will tell you all about it. Because it was going back to what you were saying, Cesar, right? Like some of this stuff isn't relatable to us, right? Because if you don't have a business that's making enough money to even
Start making those moves.
start making those moves, then it all sounds pretty when somebody lays it out to you, right? And tells you, like, oh, you could pay half of what you're paying in taxes. Hell yeah, that sounds pretty. But their example is going off of business that's making $500,000. We're not there yet. You know what I mean?
Definitely something to consider going from a traditional will, if you have assets, right, to looking into something like this. So I think the main, if you had to summarize it, is that, right, that benefit of streamlining that process of passing assets or managing assets for a continued period of time.
Yeah. So Christian May
Definitely
has
not
a
common
question.
knowledge.
Yeah, no, no, no. So Christian es entonces te dejan una herencia, lo ponen en un trust y cuando el beneficiario lo retira tiene que pagar taxes. Sí, no en un trust. In a trust, no. So this is what we were talking about. That's what differs from a will and a trust. So a will, the person will leave you a benefit, and whenever they're dead or they gone, right, deceased, you have to pay taxes to get that property
Because
in a tr-
basically the government takes a property, and
yes,
then they tax you again to give it back to you, kind of,
correct,
right?
correct. That's exactly what happens. Yeah,
Yeah.
in a trust, it just the trust owns that property.
So they're not gonna
So
charge you
the
anything
trust
with it.
never dies. That's the thing. Like the trust is it's forever, right? It doesn't die, so it doesn't go to anybody to check it. So it just goes down to the beneficiaries. And so the thing, the idea here is you want to almost have a revocable trust because you almost want like 3 4 generations from when you're dead for that person to be like, okay, hey, we need to
Because
renew
the trustee
this
is gonna
stuff.
be somebody in the family, right? Or somebody who's.
Somebody, it doesn't matter, bro. It's just somebody that you want to leave it to, but you
But
want
what I
that
mean
to
is,
kind of
it's gonna
stay.
have to be somebody who you trust.
No, it doesn't matter. Like you're gone.
Yeah, but the trustee can do whatever the hell they want. So it needs to be somebody
So
who's gonna use
far
for
as
their
it's
benefit.
within the guidelines, yes.
Yes.
Yes. But like I said, it doesn't really
I
matter
mean,
because you're dead.
I'm imagining you have to set up like the line of succession, kind of, right?
Yeah, and
Like
so that's
who's
what I
the
was gonna
next?
say. That's why I was gonna say you almost want a revocable trust because when you
Because you can
when you reach
amend.
that like limit, right? When
Yeah.
we reach like generation 10, let's call it,
Yeah.
1,000 years later, you almost want that person to be able to be like, okay, I want to redo this for 10 more generations. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, with an irrevocable trust, it's kind of like it stops there, and so I don't know what happens there. I really don't know.
Hmm. I'm sure there's gonna be some type of guideline or something.
But you know what's cool is you can get like multiple trusts. So you could do like an irrevocable within a revocable or vice
Dang.
versa. Like you could do all that shit. Yeah, you could do all that kinds of stuff.
Ooh, a trust within a trust.
Yeah, you can do all
Right.
that. You can do all that.
Okay.
So now, like I said, I don't we're not there yet to be like looking into all that stuff, but yeah, you can do all that. Cuz here's like what you could do, right? You could do like okay, I want to have a revocable trust or like an irrevocable trust with the revocable trust inside. Okay. You can have like let's say you have 2 kids. You have the irrevocable trust that says nothing can be touched in here by anybody that is not a blood relative. You could do that. Then you can have revocable trust inside of that. And then you can have like trust one and trust two for child one and child two. And then just do like that. That
Right.
way there's no like, oh well we're both trustees, so we both own what's inside. And like, yeah, you're right. But
No, it would have to
so
go in order.
correct. So Diana and I are actually looking into all of that though, because obviously now we have children. We were looking at it before, but now more that we have children, we want to do that.
Yeah.
Um, so that's part one. Part one of tips and myths. I don't think any
So
of that was a myth.
trust. What else you got? The other thing you mentioned was life insurance. You want to talk about that?
Yeah,
Uh, I mean, I think that one. I think is more popular. More people know what it is, right?
I feel
But
like they know
but
what it is, but they don't know the different types of.
I was just gonna say, everybody knows what a life insurance is, right? But there's different types of life insurance, and this is where the devil's in detail. Which life insurance it's for you?
Yeah. So give me 1 second because I had something pulled up, but
Um, I can give you what I got.
okay.
So the different types of life insurance that I have are term life insurance, whole life insurance, and universal life insurance. And the term life insurance basically it goes on for a period of time. So
Yeah.
10, 20, 30 years. And typically it's the cheaper kind of insurance that you can get. Now, if you got a whole life insurance, that one's the kind of grows over time. So it says it provides coverage for life with a savings component that grows over time. And then universal life insurance offers flexibility in premium payments and death benefits with an investment component. So again, three different types of insurance. They all work differently. Um, kind of need to make a decision there. They're pretty straightforward, but what's the right thing for you? Now, also you can have multiple life insurance. Is that
Hmm.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. So This is another one of those things that obviously social media has put out there a lot more,
Yeah.
and brought to I guess surfaced, brought to attention. I'm seeing here in the chat, Christian, IULs. Are you talking about universal life insurances? Or what are IULs? Oh, indexed universal life insurances. Yes, yes, yes. So that's one of those that I have a itch to scratch with, because those are like those rich people life insurances.
So that's where it's gonna be that
That
premium.
that's the infinite banking life insurances.
Oh, I see.
Um,
That's more where you like you kind of set it up, right?
well, those are the ones where you're already fucking rich, you know.
Yeah.
So you go in there, you deposit a stupid amount of money, and then you borrow against that stupid amount
Right.
of
Yeah,
money.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? But it doesn't make sense for us. Like, you know what I mean? They sell it to you very beautifully. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you're gonna grow money, bro. Mm, mm. You know what I mean? So just be careful. Be careful. Um, I'm more a fan of, if I had to rank them, it'd be like I only have top two. But there's plenty of life insurance, but I'd say term is one for me, and then whole is two. Why? I'll tell you why. So for me, term is number one, because the idea of life insurance is for you to have in case you pass. You're out of the camera.
My my bag, bro. Speaking
Move
of
the
life
chair. Move
insurance.
the chair.
Speaking of back insurance. I mean back insurance. Speaking of
Damn.
life insurance, bro.
Yeah. No. So I like term because life insurance should be in case you pass, not for when you pass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You should be investing while you're alive, so that when you pass, you leave something behind. It shouldn't be like, oh, I'm just waiting to die so that I can leave something behind. You know what I
Right.
mean? Now, if you're thinking that way, whole life insurance. You know what I mean? Um, that's gonna be a payout for your dependents or
That's
whoever.
basically like a retirement for your death.
Sure, 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 sure. But I think the difference in those is the premiums are higher for whole life
Yeah,
insurance,
so it's
term
so
life
it's
insurance.
term then whole then universal.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So this universal one is my last option. I mean, I have one. I have one because that's what they offered when we first bought the house. Um, it is what it is, right? It's also it's a whole life insurance with initial deposits, or like a savings account. That's what it is. It's a whole life insurance with a savings account. So what it
Okay, so
is,
it's just more flexible. It's just another account.
so what it is you're paying a premium, and that premium is going towards an investment that
Right.
they use invest, and they invest.
Yeah.
But about 80% of what your premium is paying the agent, and then their investment, and then about 20% goes into your investment. Okay. On top of that, the return is like 1.5. They tell you it's about 9%, but that's not true. I mean, like I said, once you start seeing like the payout and how much goes to them, their commission, how much it goes to the agent, how much it goes to the agency, and all that shit, you get about 1.5%. If you just got that money and put it into a fucking SPF 500 or SP 500 or a Vanguard, you'd get 7 to 10% a year. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you're losing money there. But like I said, it's a savings account, so you're putting money in, you're paying your premium, putting money in, putting money in, putting your money in. At some point, you have X amount of money. You're never gonna have crazy amount of money if you're a W-2 earner, right? Well, maybe if you're like CEO and shit like that, yeah. But you're never gonna have like what these people infinite banking are selling you, right? So it grows, it reaches a certain amount. Now, when you pass, that money you put in Gone. They keep it. The agency. It's the agencies. It doesn't. Whatever. The payout goes to your dependents or whoever you want it to go to. Your trust, your dependents, whoever the beneficiary is. So technically, you just invested all this money for them. When you could have been doing it
So
yourself.
yeah, I was trying to figure it out. So what is the benefit of doing that? Because I don't
It's
see.
if
I
you
mean,
so the benefit is if you reach a certain point in your life and you're like, I want to travel Europe, you can take your money out. So it's like a Roth IRA account. You can take your money out. It's like an investment account. It's like a retirement account.
it's a
The money
retirement
you
account
put in,
with a death payment.
no, because if you take your money out, you cancel the to take your money out, you have to cancel the insurance, the premium, the
Oh, so
whatever the
it
fuck.
doesn't. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I need. I would have to research more what to see why go that route. Because as of right now, I don't see.
Why go that route is when you're rich, you put in money, right? And then you borrow against it. So what happens is you don't get taxed on that money because you're technically in debt. So like let's say
Yes.
you made $2 million a year.
Yeah.
Fuck, I don't want to pay taxes on 2 million. So I'm gonna buy a life insurance, a UIL. I'm gonna put in $1 million, then I'm gonna borrow $1 million. So then whenever you look at your account or like your net, right, your net worth is $1 million because technically you're $1 million in debt to your
Right.
insurance. So
So
that's
that
when it
one
makes sense.
that makes sense. So that one's definitely not for us now.
Nah, but they sell it to you so pretty. I'm sorry, Christian, to use you an example, but he was talking about look into that because that's what they sell you. You know what I mean? But like I said, technically, life insurance should be one of those things that you're looking into in case you die, not for when you die. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so if you look at it in case I pass, then at the same time, you should be looking at what do I need to do to leave behind something that's worth. So you invest SP
Right.
500, Vanguard, like all those ETFs. You know what I mean? Which you would be able to do because term life insurance are cheaper than whole and UILs. Living benefits of UILs or IULs.
No, Claudia. I wish I had an inversion table, but I don't. I might be looking into investing into that. You have one, don't you?
Yes, ish.
What
It's
happened?
well, I have it, but it's
Oh,
an inversion table. Are you talking about the ones that go up and down?
no, an inversion table is the one where you like strap on and
Oh, the ones that
you
flip
back.
over.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
it's my uncle's. It's my uncle's.
Okay, yeah.
So I looked up living benefits of IULs. It says a unique feature of IUL is that it includes living benefits. Allegedly, I don't think it's a benefit, but
Which
okay.
is what?
The living benefits are chronic illness, critical illness, and terminal illness. That means your UIL will pay you tax-free cash benefit as the policyholder even before you die. Chronic illness coverage can be compared to long-term care insurance. Oh, why don't you just have medical insurance? For the price that you're going to be paying an IUL, you can get a banger life insurance. Because the idea is that you also have I mean, you also have medical coverage, right?
Right.
Like you don't want to just have an IUL and not have medical coverage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for the price that you'd be paying here, use the medical coverage that you have right now and step it up and get a banger medical coverage. And I mean, and that's another thing. If you have a critical illness or a terminal illness and you have term life insurance, it's gonna pay out. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna die. So is that really a living benefit? Because like you're gonna die. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. As y'all can tell, I'm not all for an IUL, but
Yeah, like I said, I don't know much about that, so I don't
it
I don't
just
want to
like to me it
win,
just goes
but
back to like if you have life insurance, if you get life insurance, it should be for in case you pass, right?
yeah.
It shouldn't be for when you pass. That's my thought, right? And if you want to think about it, and if you want to think about it, okay, I need life insurance for when I pass, then just get whole life insurance and invest.
And invest, and then you wait till you pass, and that's it. You're done.
Yeah,
It does what it's supposed to do, and you're done.
exactly. Now, if you're rich,
That's a different story.
go you yeah, go IUL. Fuck it,
Yeah.
all day, all day.
Okay. So going off of that, trust. I know there's a lot of other things, right? Life insurance, just a couple that we picked to talk about because, so, like we said, not very common topics. I think a lot of people are not really familiarized with it. I could tell you from experience that I wasn't even looking into any of this stuff like until recently, right?
Yeah.
Not seriously, um, but definitely some good information. Now, what I did is I put a list of just general tips, right? It could be some of the stuff that people are already doing, some of the stuff maybe that people haven't thought about. So I'm just gonna go over that real quick.
Okay.
Obviously, budgeting, that's a big one. I know it may seem straightforward, but a lot of people they know what it is, but it just cannot. It's one of those things, right? Simple to understand. They know
Hmm.
what it is, but we're not really good at doing it.
It's a
Um,
it's a mental status thing.
Yes, yes. So basically, it's tracking your income and your expenses. But there's the 50/30/20 rule, right? You ever heard of that?
I've heard yes, 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 yes. That's kind of
So
like the
just
80-20, right?
sort of yes. So the 50/30/20 is 50% for needs,
Yeah.
30% for wants, and then 20% for savings or debt payments.
Hmm, hmm,
And
hmm.
that's just a good basic formula. No, it's not a final formula, but it's a good basic formula that you can follow if you're budgeting. Now, emergency funds. Now, that's something different. The tip here is to do 3 to 6 months worth of expenses,
Yeah.
um, and just set them aside and have them ready, accessible, ready to go in case of emergencies. Right. Now, if you can
Time
do,
out.
yes,
So I have an issue with that one. I mean, we have it, but with inflation being a thing, I hate
yes,
that, dude. You know what I
yes.
mean? Like I hate
So
savings accounts and saving like
yeah,
money
but so
because it's
just
like, golly.
yeah. So I mean, you got different options. You got a high yields account that's savings, but that's also investing, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
you can combat some of those things. You can also do a Roth RIA, R
Yeah, Roth IRA.
yes, Roth RIA. You can also do. You can take loans against your. I mean, there's a lot of different things you
Sure,
can
sure,
do.
sure, sure, sure.
But
But
just
yeah,
having some type of. I think what it means is just having some type of
just being prepared
emergency. Yeah,
case.
be prepared for an
Yeah,
emergency, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Whatever that is, whatever that looks like for you. But you're right. I definitely would not recommend a traditional just savings account. Not nowadays.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I think people got away with that and they did okay. Nowadays, absolutely not.
Yeah.
The next one says debt management. So yes, you got to pay your things back, right? But you start off by paying things that have high interest.
Hmm.
Um, You can do debt consolidation, which another thing, right? People know about it, but just don't do it. Um, and I heard one kind of tip that you can do with paying debt is you you pick your highest rate rated debt that you have, and you kind of hit it real hard, right? And you kill it, and you just pick the next one and pick the next one, and pick the next one, instead of having to or instead of paying a little bit of everything all the time.
Yeah.
That would make the most impact, I
That's
guess you could.
I think that's the
The
snowball.
snowball, yes, yes,
Yeah. Where you take your payment of the biggest debt,
yeah,
you say you pay X amount and then you finish paying it off. And then your next biggest debt, you take that X amount that you were paying before and you add it
yes,
to Y amount. And then
yep,
you do that. And then they say your third debt, you take X and Y amount and you add it to Z amount. So now you're paying X, Y, Z. So it's like you pay things off a
yeah,
lot faster.
and
Hmm.
it to the name, it snowballs into a bigger. It makes a bigger impact the longer you do it, but
Yeah.
just having some type of process to it. start paying some of that back. Then we talked about investing, and you don't have. I know we say, well, it doesn't relate to us. We're not rich. We're not rich, but investing starts now.
Yeah,
Uh,
investing. I don't. You
so
don't have to be
I
rich.
know,
Yeah,
I know. Yeah, yeah. You could just start it now, right? At any level, really. And then we're talking about traditional savings, which I absolutely do not recommend. But
I,
start looking into other things. There's like a million different things,
I
and
want
this
to
is
say
where the
something about investing
yeah.
again.
Go ahead.
So investing your best friend with investing your best friend is time. So the younger you start investing, the
Yes.
better. Okay,
Yeah.
that's all I had to say.
So for investing, have start small, invest into the diversified assets, prioritize long term growth, right? Which is that time thing that you're talking about. Uh, Take advantage of tax advantaged accounts like 401ks, Roth IRAs, blah blah blah. So if you don't know what all that is, start looking it up.
Yeah,
It's called Google. Go on there, start typing it up. Yeah, I mean the information is there.
it's there. Yeah,
It's up
and
to
now
us
with
to
AI,
figure it
you
out.
can just like look shit up,
Bro,
and AI will guide you at least. Maybe don't ask AI strictly like where can I find
I
this?
have
You know what I mean?
$50. What do I do with that?
Yeah, or like where can I find what to do? And if it's a .gov site or if it's a .org, you're probably gonna get better information. But I mean, it's the information's out there.
Absolutely. Now, on that point, retirement accounts or retirement savings, again, it's not a traditional savings, a retirement savings. And of course, starting early is the key, right?
Yeah,
Um, Even if it's just small amount, compound interest over time, if you understand how everything works, again, that can make a big difference towards the ending, not the ending of your life, but towards later in your life.
yeah, 100%.
Um, and also got a list of, well, do you have something you want to add? Because I also put
No.
a list of myths of financial myths
Oh,
together.
okay. So one of the I guess I don't know how mythy this is since we're going into that, but one of the best investors in the world, Warren Buffett, he's actually opposed to diversifying your portfolio, given that he's rich. You know what I mean? So
Really
sometimes
rich.
you gotta take some of these things you see and hear with a grain of salt. And you have to like kind of step back and be like, where am I at financially, mentally, and emotionally? Those are big because sometimes you'll invest, and if you invested in, for example, okay, sometimes you'll invest and shit will go out of whack. So you got to be careful. So what I mean is like if you would have invested in January of 2020, you would have freaked out March, April, May, June, July of 2020 because everything tanked. But if you look at the market now, everything is way back up, you know? So you have to be mentally, emotionally stable and financially stable. You know, you have to like see where you're at in
So
life, you know?
I think the difference when they say diversified, I think what it is lowering the risk. Right?
Mm,
Diversifying means
no, diversifying means like invest in everything, invest in technology, invest in health, invest in
yeah, but what I mean by
aerospace,
lowering
invest
the
in
risk is if one if one type of asset may go down, they're not all gonna go down. As opposed to if you do wait, may less
did you
likely,
see have you seen the market
less
whenever March
less
2020 hit?
likely. I'm just trying to explain this explanation here.
Okay.
As opposed to if you just do, let's say you think something's gonna go real big, right? And you invest it all into one thing, there's a higher risk in
Yeah. Yeah,
general
yeah, 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 yeah.
that if it
No, no,
tanks,
that's what I'm
you
saying.
lose
Like
everything. So
that's
that's
why
where
I
that
said Warren
it's the
Buffett's
risk.
against it.
Yeah, for sure.
We're not Warren Buffett. So that's why I
Yeah,
said you got to check where you're at in life, you know?
yeah, for sure.
But okay, going into your myths. Sorry.
No, no, that's cool. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to see if you wanted to add something. Okay. So one of the myths that I have is only the elderly people need to have life insurance, which of course we know
Mm-mm.
that's not true, right? Because anything can happen to us at any time.
Mhm.
Also, employer provided insurance is enough.
Mm-mm.
If you're familiar with what they offer you as an employer, it's not enough.
Yeah, no.
It's something, but it's not definitely not enough. Renting is throwing money away. Now, this is a controversial one,
Ooh.
but it does say renting can be a wise decision depending on your financial life situation. Uh, Home ownership comes with a hidden cost,
Of
and some
course.
of them is just maintenance, taxes, insurance, and I'm gonna wait to say what the other thing that I was gonna say about home owning. But what do you think?
Yeah, I recently heard something about this, and I've heard from a rich guy. See, this is what sucks, right? It's mostly like the stuff that I see on my feed. Sometimes are mostly rich people.
Yeah,
Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone is all about renting ish. Because then he'll go and tell you like, oh, but I own the building. You know what I mean? Um, but so yeah, you got to be careful, right? You got to be careful, and it's going back to what I said about investing, right? You got to step back and see where you're at financially, mentally, and emotionally, because yes, as a homeowner, I see all the costs and everything that comes in with owning the house. Now, there's always pros and cons to everything. I personally think that renting in today's market, 100% throwing your money away, because it's so expensive, bro.
it is
Like, I don't know, but I'm gonna assume that your rent is more than my mortgage,
probably.
just from what I know what other people's rents are. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? And it's like, God damn, that's crazy. You could, like, I could potentially, if your rent is more than my mortgage, I could potentially take my mortgage and whatever, and your rent, subtract it, whatever is left from there, and invest it. You know what I mean?
sure.
Now, am I doing that? Of course not. But I'm just saying, like, that's what you could do if you wanted to shut that myth up.
Yeah,
You know what I
and
mean?
and you're right. I mean, we don't do the math, right? So we can't to be able to have like an actual definite answer. We would have to do the math, right?
Yeah.
Over time, doesn't make sense. Like,
Yeah.
of course, it's your property, right? Compared to where like it's not your property. Yeah, it's not your risk, not your problem if something happens. But at the end of the day, long term doesn't make sense or not.
And
Now,
I
one
have
thing
a,
I'm gonna say, and I was gonna wait to say it because it's down on my list, but I know you read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and he talks about being able to identify what an asset and what a liability is,
yeah.
and how a lot of people consider there has to be an asset, but in reality, it's a liability.
Yeah. So I do agree with that. So I agree that a home that you live in is a liability. A
Absolutely,
home that you rent, like to somebody, is an asset. But if we're talking about renting for me to live in versus owning for me to live in, both of them are liabilities.
sure,
So the question
different
then
kinds, but
becomes,
yes,
yeah, but then the question becomes which liability do you want? Like, which one benefits you a little bit more? You know, like, which one is more flexible? And I think owning is a little bit more flexible, right? Because say you don't like something, you just fix it or do it or redo it, whatever. With renting, I don't think you can
oh,
do that.
can you
I've
hear
never
me?
rented, so I don't know. Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Like with renting, I've never rented, so I don't know. I don't know how flexible you are with being able to like
Well,
change
the,
things
the the
and add
main thing about
things.
renting is it's not your problem at the end of the day, right? Like, you just
How far does that go though? Like how far? Right? Because like say you accidentally burn the house down, right?
yeah,
Is that your problem or is that not?
oh, because you have renter's insurance.
Yeah, but then I have homeowners insurance, so it's the same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, but I don't know. I
Like
think
what you're talking about is like maybe what you're talking about is maybe like cutting the yard or if something falls like my trees for example, that's
well,
not your
if you're
thing.
saying flexibility, I don't have to worry about taxes. I don't have to worry about uh any
Mm,
maintenance.
mm,
Maintenance. Can
time
you
out.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Maintenance, repairs. Yes, I know it's everything is incorporated into your rent. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't have to worry about it. So
Okay. Yeah,
long
it's one of those hidden fees that you're just like,
Yeah,
eh. Yeah.
I just pay the price and that's it, right? I don't have to worry about it.
Sure, sure, sure,
I
sure, sure,
mean,
sure.
in different situations, like here, I know I told you that I was dreading because I thought I had to cut the yard and I don't. That's just what like a little extra perk, right?
But
Um,
I mean, is that everywhere? Is that like a thing everywhere?
no, 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 no. This is
Oh,
just
okay.
here in this property.
Oh, okay, okay,
Uh,
okay.
Other houses I rented, they do have to cut the grass.
Yeah.
Uh,
Uh,
but I mean, you saw the backyard and it's like, fuck. The only thing I'm gonna do in this backyard is cut it. You know, that's the
yeah,
only thing I'm gonna
yeah,
use it for.
yeah.
But thankfully, I don't have to do that. And again, I
Oh,
used to
yeah, it's a
pay.
peace
I
of
think I
mind.
used to
Yeah,
pay. I don't remember back in the day,
at least
40, 50
$50
bucks.
biweekly. Yeah,
Yeah, to cut the grass. So
yeah. No, I mean that's definitely a benefit. But
maintenance,
I
if
think
something
the
breaks,
not thinking about it is probably the worthwhile
absolutely. Like I
extra
said,
payment.
in general maintenance, something happens, just call the maintenance person, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Um, and you have, like you said, you have insurance, you have renters insurance. So something major happens, technically you should be covered.
correct. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, so is that just a peace of mind? Now,
Yeah.
long term, I can't really say that's the way to go. I don't know
Sure.
because at the end of the day, you don't own anything other than the peace of mind that you own for the time that you were renting.
Yeah, because I was gonna say like one of the biggest things that I like is that I don't know if this is the right way to say it, but the biggest thing that I feel about owning my house is that there's some sort of safety net in the sense of if shit hits the fan, if all else fails and we can't like do anything financially, we can always sell the property, right? And make some money off of it.
Yeah,
Whether we lose or anything, we're gonna make some money.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Or let's say we don't want to sell, but we want to like like take a loan out on it. Like we can do all that stuff. So there's that like safety net of like, and it's a mental thing because it's not really probably a safety net because you're just going into debt, or if you sell it, you're kind of getting rid of
yeah.
a thing. If you take a loan, you're going into debt, but if you sell it, you're kind of getting rid of a big part of your life. But it's just you could, and you
It's
could get out of shit if you needed to. You know what I mean?
yeah. It's sort
Whereas
of
when you're
kind of
renting, it's kind of like a savings account.
yeah. Now, I was gonna just say because it just reminds me of the argument of renting a car versus buying a car.
Oof.
It's again, it's kind of sort of the same thing, right?
But I feel like renting a car isn't like this house should be here for a very long time. The
Right.
car is
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
fucking degrade so much faster.
Okay, so you're saying that renting is the way to go?
For a car?
Yeah.
Nah.
I don't know.
Well, no, no.
You
Well,
Well, yeah, you have people that swear
okay,
that
but
that's the
but
way to
it
go.
goes back to like what are you doing with that vehicle,
Yes.
right? Like
Yeah.
if like I don't like leasing at all because they limit you on things. So if you're a traveling
Yes.
person, if you want to go places, if you like driving places,
Not for
then
you.
not for you.
Yeah.
But if you're within the city, if you drive 20 miles a week, you know what I
Again,
mean?
if
50
you don't
miles
want
a
to
week,
worry about anything,
yeah, then
you
fuck it.
just want to
And,
drive a new car.
I've heard this part. Like there's some people that I that I've heard of that lease the like brand new Benz, you know what I mean? Fucking S class, looking sharp and shit, whatever that price is a month. But they get a new one every year or two. You know what I mean?
Right.
But they drive shit 50, maybe 100 miles a week. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
maybe that's a lot more. 100 miles a week would be 5,000. Yeah, like that's what they drive. You know what I mean? So
Below the
then does
average.
it make sense? Maybe, right? But for somebody that's gonna drive 100 miles a day, I don't know. On average, right? Nobody's going out there and driving 100 miles a day, but
Yeah.
like if I drove to your house and back, that's over 100 miles all day. And it goes back to, well, I guess with a car, it's a little rough too because, like I said, they lose their value so fast.
So
But
fast.
But I mean, shit, I feel like it's another one of those things where worst case scenario, you sell it and you make something back. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like renting, you're just
Ooh,
like
that's a tough
throwing it
argument on a
away.
car. I guess it
Well,
depends on what kind of car you got.
I mean, you can, like, what I'm saying is like you'll make something back. Like, let's say you bought the car for $50,000 and you sell it for 10. I mean, you made $10,000 back. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna always lose. You're always gonna lose. It's not a property like it's gonna go up in value, but now unless you go sell a car post COVID, right? You know what I mean? Then you're gonna
You
make
just
some
get
money. But
lucky. Yeah.
but now we're post COVID, so you're not gonna be able to make that money. You know what I mean?
So the next thing it says debt is always bad, and again that's a myth, right? There's some things that, or it's not necessarily something negative. Like for example, if you're investing
See,
into, the main thing is if you get into debt because you're investing right into a an asset, then that can be a good thing.
yeah,
Anything other than that, it's hard to say. It depends on your situation.
yeah.
Um,
And so,
like
real quick, Claudia says she sold her 12-year-old Tahoe and got some money back, and that's kind of what I'm saying, right? Like, there's
yeah,
you
because
get
not
some back,
yeah,
yeah. But going on what you were saying, yes, debt that you're investments that put you in debt that are assets, 100%. But you got to be careful because again, it's one of those things.
it's always a risk.
Well, not even just the risk, but it's like you hear it from rich people, right? So
Yes,
you got to be
yeah,
careful, right? Um, you're not just gonna go take a $500,000 loan because ooh, I heard so and so that's already rich did that to start a washing machine business. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you got to be really careful with what you hear on the market or on the thing,
sure.
on social media or wherever you hear about it. Now, I think I'm a gambler, so risk to me is like, fuck it,
Yeah,
let's do it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But yeah, I don't think debt is bad as long as it's an
Well,
investment.
and that's the main point. Like debt is always related to something negative, and
You
it's
know,
not
you
necessarily.
know who's completely against death? Debt is that guy Ramsey.
Yes,
What's his
uh,
name?
not debt whatsoever. Yeah, I remember hearing about
Yeah,
it.
he's but
He's
but
one of
like
the
I
few. He's one of the few
he's
that
one of the few, and again,
pay
he's
everything.
already rich. He
Yeah.
claims that he lost everything, blah blah blah, and that he made it all back. I I, I don't know his full story, but he claims he buys everything,
Well, a lot of these guys, like you said,
buys it out.
their hook is, I can make $1 million in 2 weeks or something,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like, well, you don't actually have to do it, so we don't really know. Maybe, I mean, it's for like maybe it did happen to you, but it doesn't necessarily mean that
It's not
everybody
the
can do it.
standard. Yeah, it's not like a
Absolutely,
yeah. So you got to be like I said. Man, I keep saying it, but I'm a broken record with it. You just got to be really careful with what you
yeah,
hear and believe. Because yeah, I don't. He's all about he's against credit cards and all that shit. And I just
yeah.
feel like if you like, I feel like credit cards are. We talked about this last time. Credit cards are good if you're in a good mental state because think about all the points and all the cash back and all
Yeah.
the shit you're missing out on if you pay everything cash and because he's like you don't want to go into credit cards because debt and it's like well if you can pay off your credit card at the end of the month what's the difference of paying it cash and credit
It
card and
doesn't
getting those
matter. Yeah,
points yeah
actually, it'll
so
give you a better credit score technically, right? And that could potentially help you at some point.
yeah he's I don't like I said I don't know too
Of
much
course,
about him
if
but
you're a
he's
millionaire, you're not thinking about credit score, right? That
yeah
doesn't
because
really
I
matter.
think
But something,
Robert Kiyosaki where he said his debt his credit score is like
shit.
yeah I think he said it's like he doesn't even have one it doesn't even show up I don't know how true that is
Yeah, because he doesn't, because he has a bunch of debt allegedly, right?
yeah
So okay, so which takes me to my next point, which was financial literacy, and this is more of as of right now, it's a self thought kind of process. I think. I mean, you can go to some workshops and you can pay some stuff because everybody's trying to teach you and trying to make money of some
off
type
of
of way.
you
But I
yeah
think the best way is just read some books. Just get out there, read some books, do some research. Obviously, the one that we already talked about, which is one that I have read in the past, Rich Dad Poor Dad, which is that guy that you're talking about that doesn't have credit score.
yeah
Uh, Robert Kiyosaki.
Yeah.
And then there's another one here which I've never read. It's called the Total Money Makeover. I don't know if you heard of that one.
No, never.
So that was one I was recommended. So I don't know. Maybe I'll check it out. But just understanding like your basic financial terms, like rates, like inflation, like credit scores, compound interest. There's a lot of things that go into this.
Yeah.
Um, I'd say the last one was just says credit, which we just mentioned, which is monitor your credit score, understanding how your credit score works, how it can be beneficial to you, and how it can affect you. That's it. That's all I got.
Cool. Well, we're at that hour and a half mark, man. I think we did real
Sure.
good
Yeah.
today. I think today's was a banger. I like this shit. But yeah, I guess we'll just go over again what we talked about today. So today we did some updates. We talked about what ideas and what we want to do moving forward. For those of you that missed that, we're talking about integrating another episode, something like cold calling. It'll be a shorter than Wednesday episode. We want to start bringing in people. So if you're interested on being on the show, head over to 2madkings.com. The number two, madkings.com, and let us know. Please, please, please. We are looking for people to come on the show. So 2madkings.com. We're looking to do that. We're going to have some merch. So definitely be on the lookout for that. P word. What is that? Not
What?
pussy. Patreon. Sorry. If you want to support us, we have our Patreon. There's different
Hey,
tiers
Adrian.
to it. There's
Sorry.
different tiers to it. There's going to be tier 1, 2, and 3. They each get different benefits. Tier 1 gets a hat. Tier 2 will get a hat and a shirt and enter a giveaway on a quarterly basis. Tier 3 will get a hat and a tier 3 unique shirt only and giveaway on a quarterly basis also. So we have that. It'll be on our website, 2madkings.com. And yeah, I think that's it for now. So just be on the lookout.
It's a real website. Go check it out.
Yeah, dude, just check it out. But for now, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for everybody to stop by and showing support. We always appreciate you, like always. And yeah, good night, guys.